Okay,
Not
but where
a
is
TV
it?
right there.
Come on, B. Is that supposed to be? There you go, the legend! Ah! With Rat. Oh my God, Elizabeth! This is awesome! Yo! Oh my man! Bro! Holy sh! David Arquette. What's going on, young man?
What's up? I'm good.
KGB legend.
That's right. Kids gone bad.
Let's go. Bro, KGB, son.
Yeah.
You know, back in the days, over here in New York, you get hit with a golf club, but somebody held the gun at Scott Conn and all them homies.
Oh, yeah. Little rest in peace, Shifty.
Crazy Town.
Yeah, Crazy
There
Town.
you go.
Right,
Come
right,
on,
right,
young
right.
man.
Sorry.
In the graph world, ever got chased or arrested?
The cop that arrested us actually caught us twice, the same cop, which was interesting. He was honest. He was like, listen, I'm just about to get off work. I don't want to stay an extra hour. I have to fill out all this paperwork. So we're going to release you to your parents. I hope they, teach you. And then the next time we ran into him, it was more south and not in like a predominantly white neighborhood. It was a different experience. We had to sit out with our knees on the concrete for a long time.
You guys with the graffiti
down in
NWA.
the dirt. Yeah, there was some. Don't do that here.
I let off with the KGB,
Yeah.
but the nugget of it, which was a trip, was Scott Conn was in a crew also called KGB.
Yeah, that's
what's up with that,
yeah,
son?
that was they were coming out. They said we're Killer Green Buds, and we're like, no, we've been KGB for years. Like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
And it was this crazy situation where one of the writers in our crew had since gone to prison, got shot in the head. He came out and he just wasn't taking it. He was more gangster at that point, and he just wasn't taking it. He was like. He just pulled out a guy. Was like, "Say you're KGB now." We're like, "This isn't that important. You don't have to."
Salute to him because he was in a group with another gentleman, the Alchemists. They had a group called the Hooligans, Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
They went through all these things. I'm talking about Scott and his career. I am so honored to sit next to you, and I'll tell you why, man.
Oh,
this is my life, bro.
Yeah. Paul Reubens is one of my dearest friends. We just lost him, and it was so painful. I love that you're such a fan. I got a tattoo of him on my...
Come on.
No,
that's
right
he's trying to feel it. He's trying to feel it.
He'll take my shirt off. What kind of party this is going to be.
Hey, listen, it's America.
I mean, I love Paul Reubens so much. He taught me so much about art. He taught me so much about just music, laughter, comedy, friendship, nature. He has this beautiful house where he just, planted all these indigenous animals. He was doing recycling before, we even knew what recycling was, and composting stuff. He's just the greatest person. I owe so much to him, and I miss him so much. Right before he passed, we had a popsicle party, and all of his friends were eating popsicles together. And it was just a very sweet moment.
Man, salute Paul Reubens, the legendary, iconic Pee Wee Herman. Your team on Family Feud was trash against his.
No, we won.
I know, but his lineup,
his lineup was dope. Yes, his lineup was good. I just did it because, in true wrestling fashion, I just wanted to,
have the wrestlers. That makes sense.
Have my wrestler friends, but to help them get a little exposure.
Come on, bro. I'm sitting next to a guy who touched Andre the Giant's back.
Well, I'm sure it was the back of him.
Yeah.
Reaches back. But, yeah.
And you licked your hand after that,
right? Probably rubbed it on my face for sure. It was amazing. I mean, there was something about just that whole time period. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant when he was trying to slam him and all this stuff where we'd go to the house shows all the time, and we see these amazing things, but the belts would never change at the house shows. What I mean? It was like this shell game they would play. But and then I did the movie Ready to Rumble, and to promote it, they had made me the champion. And I was like, this is a terrible idea, but they wanted to do it because they wanted to get some more eyes on WCW at the time. The fans hated it for years and years. they hated me. They wanted to kill me. Like they literally they just screamed at me.
Yeah,
Get here.
B.
You got nothing. There's no reason to be
This
here.
before Rob Boss?
Yeah. You even know about Rob Boss? Rob Boss. Yeah, that was in. I forgot the name of the thing. I think of pro wrestling. That's what it's called. I did a character named Rob Boss where I painted, and I was like, I don't fight, but I have some angry little trees that'll fight, and then they came out. But then when I did the death match, by the time I left, they were cheering me. It was like a complete reversal.
Oh, yes. Now, listen, man, I have to ask you a very important question for everybody to understand. Who delivered the box to Brad Pitt?
Yes. Dude, you've done your research. That's my brother, Richmond Arquette. He's amazing. That's my favorite credit of any of the Arquettes. It's like, what's in the box? It's amazing, though.
And this goes through the family, man. Salute the OG Cliff. You know,
yes. Cliff Arquette he played a character named Charlie Weaver, and there's still like a bartender machine out there. If you ever see it, he's like mixing a martini and he drinks it.
That's ill. Now, what I love about all this is that you were only 4 years old when, so all these stories were passed down, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The one of him bum rushing your dad's show?
Yeah, my dad was doing like summer stock, like a play, and my dad's just trying to find his voice as an actor, and during the intermission, my grandfather put on his Charlie Weaver costume and like entertained the crowd. But it's just so it's like such a steal the spotlight moment where he thought, and my grandfather thought, like he was just like helping the crowd and making more fun of the night.
Yeah.
But for my dad, it was kind of soul crushing. It was really hard for him because he was also living under his dad's shadow for a lot of the time. So after he passed, in his diaries, he had written about it. So
wow. But then there's this one moment where he Clark Kent Superman the situation at your birthday party. He left, the clown came in.
Oh, yeah. This goes back to, my love of clowns. When I was a kid, he used to dress up as Butter the Clown and come to my birthday parties. And then he would leave, and then my dad would show up, and I say, Dad, you just missed Butter. So that was like this ongoing thing for years and years and years. We even have a family photo where we're all dressed as clowns, and I was like interested, like, how did that family photo happen? My sister was like, or my brother Richard said, no, there was a deal at the bank that if you opened a bank account, they'd take a professional photo, and then they made us dress all as like clowns to take
You guys are all as clowns. I love it. Now, were you protective over Bootsy Bellows?
I'd once found my mom in a book called I Was a 50s Pinup, and then I came across her picture, and I was like, Mom. And I said, were you a stripper? Did you ever strip? She said, no, I wasn't a stripper, but I did burlesque dance a couple times. I said, did you have a burlesque dancing name? And she said, Bootsy Bellows. And that's how we came up with the name for the club. Now we got a little, Bootsy Bellows at SoFi Stadium.
That's dope. Congratulations. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
What made you so bold to tell Wes that you could be Dewey?
Yeah, in the original interview for Scream, they were seeing, I came in for one of the high schoolers, and I was like, you know what, I really feel like I could bring something to this role of Dewey. And they're like, wow, that's pretty interesting. Let me think about that.
Wow. But
Wes was really open-minded, and he was a really sweet guy. And I think, my character Dewey, for some reason, he's got this really humorous, sensitive, sweet side to him. And I think he found a lot of that in this character. So he'd always throw out little lines like, do you see what constellation that is? And Gail would say, no, what is it? And I'd say, I don't know. That's why I asked you. That was total Wes Craven line. So he found all these moments.
Alexis in Wedding Singer was classic.
Alexis was incredible.
Alexis, for those who don't know, was not only trans, but actually lived in a closet. When
we were growing up, around 12, 13, Alexis moved into the closet because we were sharing a room. She moved into the closet. It was a big enough closet. But then when she came out, she changed her name to Alexis. Alexis was really was really instrumental in kind of talking about it and our family kind of supporting it. And there's so much hate right now in that group that it's really important that people do stand up and back them up.
Are we getting this clown flick? We getting this doc? What is it?
Yeah, Bozo the Clown. I'm totally. It took me 15 years to acquire the rights to Bozo the Clown.
There we go.
A Bozo documentary. We've gone around to clown conventions. I studied clowning.
I love that, and I also love your love for clowns and just the concept of it, because we need as many opportunities to find a reason to smile.
Exactly, man. That's what a clown's real role is. That's why scary clowns aren't true clowns.
Mm-hmm.
Clowns are you're supposed to laugh at. They allow you to laugh at them, and hopefully you can laugh at yourself. You can let your clown out. Like Bozo, we've been developing the Bozo character. Bozo has a saying, we don't look up at people and think they're so great, but we certainly don't look down on anyone and think we're better than them. We look everyone right in the eye, and we know that you're the greatest in your world, and I'm the greatest in mine. If we treat each other that way, we're going to have a great world. So it's messaging like that we're trying to do. And just for people to, find joy in their lives. That's really what it's about.
I love it, man. How high you have to be to jump out of a plane?
That was a question that was asked my grandfather, I think. I think he said, a couple of shots will probably do it or something like that.
Before we get out of here, I got one question I don't have the answer to.
Okay.
When you was a kid, you sold maps to the stars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then one day your daughter she wanted to perform, and the tourists came.
Yeah, this is
through
a
map.
really funny story.
Did you bring them in?
So we were on this route where Maps to Stars home buses would go by. Our house was on it.
It was karma. What goes around comes around.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But my daughter was putting on a little circus show with her friends, and she couldn't she said, Daddy, we need an audience. You got to call some friends up. And, I called all my friends in the meeting area, and no one was home or could come over to be. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry, honey. There's not going to be an audience. I can watch those. She's like, no, we need an audience. I was like, okay. So I waited outside for the next bus to come by. It was this little Australian tourist. And I was like, you guys got to come in and watch my daughter put on a circus show.
For real?
For real.
Yo, this dude is wild. I love it. Oh, superhero dads exist. What was the name of your band?
It's the worst name of any band in history. It was Ear 2000. Ear 2000.
We'll leave it on that.